What's up, I'm a Power Ride Crew. Today on the XJ camper build teardown. Yeah, that's right. We're just going to take out the steering wheel. Let's see what's inside the column. Let's do it. So get your Phillips head screwdriver. You got 1, 2, and that right there is actually for something completely different. And I'll show you what in a minute. Oop, screw fell out. Which I knew it would, but there it goes. Now before I drop this lower cover, I'm going to show you guys how to take the cylinder out, just in case, you know, you need to change this out for whatever reason. Screwdriver beside there, there's a little button. Whenever you push it, you can see how the cylinder's moving? Push up on it, turn your cylinder back. You'll feel this move just a tiny little bit. And work your screwdriver back and forth. Okay, it's not quite there yet. When we hit that sweet spot, this cylinder will move back and forth. See, right there. Now you think you're gonna try to grab the key and pull the cylinder out. Not gonna happen. What you gotta do is remove the screwdriver, pull the cylinder out. There you go. Now let's just say you got your new key cylinder with your new key pattern or whatever. Put it in, it'll line up, push in. Turn your key back this way, you're good to go. Then take this, pull it on the other side of that lever, and the top of that comes off. So remember that hole at the bottom of the steering column? Right there is a little button. To start removing your turn signal switch, you got T20 Torx right here, right there, and one underneath here. And once you get the T20 Torx out, you can pretty much grab the switch, pick it straight up, because it sits down inside of a pocket right there. But the problem of it is, your switch hits right here. So this is where the wiring harness plugs into the back of your switch. You got a little button right there. You need to push that button, separate the harness, unplug the harness from the switch. And once you get that harness unplugged and you push it back a little bit, push this lever all the way back as far as it can go, you should be able to grab your switch, pick it up, and it comes out of its pocket and over. And then you can get to that one right there to unplug it. Then you can take your wiper switch, pick it straight up, and right there is where the harness disconnects from that switch. But I kind of need my other hand to do it, so yeah, be right back. Now let's work on getting the steering wheel off. To start out with, you got 1/4 inch right there. You got one right there, and one right there. Take them out. Now for the next step, we're taking out the airbag. Be sure your battery is disconnected before messing with that airbag. I mean, last thing you want is for that airbag to go off and punch you in the face. So once you get those screws out, you can just grab your airbag like this, pull it out. Now there is your wiring harness for the airbag. For this red wire right here, to pull it apart, you've got a little tab on the bottom side right there. You got to squeeze that tab in right there, and it'll release that connector, and you can pull it apart. To disconnect your airbag, just pull it straight out. It's just 2 pins right there, and there you go. As I mentioned on my past video, I'm going to take this right here and hook some voltage to it and blow it up, watch it for the fun of it, but I'm not going to do it here, not on this video. So I'm going to cut that wire right there to save it for that purpose. The nut right here, it's got to come off, 7/8 socket. Now you can go to the auto parts store and pick up a steering wheel puller set, but I've got this set right here, 46-piece bolt puller set. All these different bolts, you got different situations you can work them with. So I'm going to use this one and one of these, and then you take this piece right here, you're going to use this side with that center cone right here, because that will sit right in the middle of that divot of that shaft. Put a bolt there, put a bolt there, and pull it right on out. Just watch and see. So take your puller, one side here, and you've got bolt here. Screw that one in, just a couple turns. Run this one in, a couple turns. And you don't have to go all the way and tighten them to the bottom, just kind of good 6-8 turns or something like that, until they stop, whatever you feel froggy. Then remember that little divot at the end of the shaft? Let's see if I can show you guys a little closer. Give people the shots that other people don't. Okay, see the end of that cone? Right here. The point sits right in the divot of that shaft. Then just tighten that up. It bottoms out on the bolts and put that on there. Hold the steering wheel and just crank on down on it. There she goes. I felt the brake loose. Ta-da! Then we got to take all your wiring harness and stuff, shove it through the steering wheel. You know, a smart person would have taken that green one and unplugged it first, but you know what? I'm not always that smart. So I'm going to do that now that I need both hands. You got to get that critter off right there too. So it had a couple plugs right there, and so now we got the steering column taken apart. So now when we get to the point we're taking out the dash, this opening here should come over the top of that right there and come on out. So now that we got the steering wheel off and the column disassembled, we can start taking the dash out. It's about to come a storm. Well, actually at the recording of this particular exit, the dash is out. So we'll drop that video later. So what else do I have left? I've still got the airbox here where it holds the heater cord and all that fun stuff, so I need to remove that. I believe I'm going to do a video on how to remove the blower motor without removing the airbox and the air conditioning, all those lines, stuff like that. I'm going to do that video as well, because there seems to be a problem out there with the XJ. If you got to replace your blower motor, you got to move all the air conditioning lines and all that stuff out of the way. I believe you can do that without having to remove the air conditioning lines. And I'm going to try that, create a video for that. So what else have I got left? As I mentioned, the airbox, still got the fuel tank and engine, transmission, transfer case. And then we start cutting the whole front end off of it to build the trailer tongue. So fuel tank, transmission, transfer case, do you guys want to see me remove that? Drop it down in the comments. Whenever I get started on this camper build, I'm going to order me a scale that I'm going to be able to hang it by the tongue so I can actually keep track of how much tongue weight is built into this thing. One of the biggest questions is how much tongue weight do these things actually have? So by buying the scale, I'll be able to keep track of it as I add subtract weight from the rig. Cool? Alright, so if that's something you guys want to see, be sure to subscribe when I start that camper. So I will appreciate you hanging out. Peace. Later, y'all.